And now I'm going to make a perfectly apple coffee cake. The first thing, I preheat my oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to make sure the oven will be nice and hot. You're going to take 9 by 13 inch baking pan, then spray it with non-stick cooking spray and set it aside. So we're going to do for the cake batter, fully whip the apples. Let's pop it into a stick of unsalted butter that I brought to room temperature. I'm going to follow by 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. We're going to cream this together until light and fluffy. This is getting really light and fluffy. I'm going to add 2 large eggs, half that room temperature. We're going to be in one at a time. Always have to scrape the sides of the bowl and the bottom occasionally using with the rubber spatula to get everything really well. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract and 1 cup of sour cream. I have 8 ounces, which makes about 1 cup. Just want to keep going. We're going to set these for momentarily. We're going to move on for the dry ingredients. For the dry ingredients in the separate bowl, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm also going to put in for a half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoons of kosher salt. We're going to put this right into that. And you can smell the spices of the cinnamon and the nutmeg. And just stir this around with a wire whisk. Now you want to add the dry to the wet and mix everything really well. I'm just going to put this right to the wet mixture and give that really thin batter. This is going to be turns really thin batter. I'm just going to get these off the beater. And now we're going to throw in the apples. I already peeled, core, and diced 5 Granny Smith apples. This might be plenty of these apples inside the cake batter. I'm just going to put these for a little bit or so on. I'm going to see how that goes. The apples turns inside of the cake batter. And I'm going to gently fold it into it. Just gotta fold it in. I'd rather you can use the wooden spoon instead of with the rubber spatula. We're going to move on for the streusel toppings. I'm going to do for the same bowl that we did for the dry ingredients. Let's go on for the streusel toppings. I put 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to break it for half a cup of firmly packed light brown sugar. I'm just going to break it down. Oh yeah, don't forget some spices. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and 1/4 teaspoons of ground nutmeg. Okay, use it one with the pastry blender. And just break it around. I'm going to cut a stick of another softened butternut, unsalted. Then I just cut it up into just a bit small pieces. And we're going to cut the butter into the flour and the spice mixture until you get resembles coarse breadcrumbs. Okay, make sure to scraping all the pastry butter using with a butter knife. All cut up for the streusel toppings. We're going to be ready to assemble those. You can see how moist it was. Let me go around for the cake batter. Has been folding the apples. Look at those tiny batters. A whole apple is inside of that. Let's get this off of there. Don't want to waste it. Gonna spread that really evenly inside of the pan. Gonna use it with a backward spoon. I just scrape it with the rubber spatula. I don't want to get all wasting for a little batter. Gonna make it nice and clean. Now let's sprinkle of the streusel toppings right on top. Just sprinkle all over onto the batter after spread it evenly. So after you're done sprinkling, You're going to put this in the oven for approximately 25 or 30 minutes. I'm going to come back and I'll show you what it looks. I'm going to finish the rest of the streusel toppings. In the oven it goes, 25 or 30 minutes. It's up and down. Let me just turn this off and then just going to take it out. I'm going to put this on the wire rack. Alright, instead of 25 minutes, I put it only for 35 minutes. So I just took it out of the oven, put it on the cooling rack and let it cool completely before cutting it to serve. Then using a toothpick to insert it into the center of the cake to check with, and it comes out clean. Now I'm guessing it took it for a rest after 30 minutes. I just cut it down and I see how it just turns like, and I just thawed with some leftover Cool Whip that I put it into the other container that I have did for last week. As you can see, the apples just nice and tenderized inside of the cake, and how moist it just was, and the streusel topping is just perfectly great. And here you go, you have a finished perfectly apple coffee cake. If you're interested for more recipes, write down comments below if you want to see something. Make sure to be always watching for sharings. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for everyone. As always, happy autumn. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Worldwide Campus News and Entertainment. Then ring the bell to see all notifications about the new videos and the latest video.